Got a question from a neurotypical wife, and she states that my husband has ASD level 1 and he has some emotions blindness or alexithymia. Can he feel love? The answer is yes. It's going to be harder for him to find the words to describe how he feels, and it's going to be easier for people with ASD to show love through actions, in other words, doing things for you. But alexithymia, even though it effectively isolates a person with ASD emotionally, it does not prevent him from feeling and showing love. If you're married to somebody with autism, you're married to somebody who has a disorder. Yes, it's a disorder. It's not a condition or a different way of thinking, okay? If you had a child with a disorder, would you treat that child the same way you do your autistic spouse? Huh? Would you? Quick message to neurotypical spouses out there. If you're married to someone with autism, think of his meltdowns as the fight part of the fight or flight response, and think of his shutdowns as the flight part of the fight or flight response. In other words, your autistic spouse is trying to protect himself from real or imagined harm. Quick message to neurotypical spouses out there. If you were married to, let's say, a husband that was legally blind, would you ever say to him, you know, if you would just try harder and work at it, you'd be able to see better? No, you would not. So if your spouse has mind blindness and emotions blindness, what makes you think that if they tried harder or worked at it, that they would be able to see someday? What is the number one problem for people with autism spectrum disorder? Anxiety. What is their number one source of anxiety? Trying to relate to people. How does your ASD husband show his love for you? By doing things for you. And the typical NT wife says, well, yeah, I like some of the things that he does for me, but that's not enough. And the ASD husband will say the same thing. Doesn't matter what I do, it's never good enough. And so the NT wife goes through life feeling deprived. The ASD husband goes through life feeling like I can never make her happy. Quick message to neurodiverse couples. If your spouse has to behave in accordance with your expectations, you're in for one long, miserable marriage. What's normal for a neurodiverse marriage? It's normal for the NT wife to be stressed because she's not getting her emotional needs met. It's normal for the ASD spouse to be stressed because he has a hard time meeting her emotional needs and keeps getting in trouble for not meeting her needs. What's normal is for the NT wife to be mad because he's not following through. What's normal is for the ASD spouse to be mad because he keeps getting asked to do things he doesn't want to do. What's normal? For the NT wife to be sad that she didn't get the marriage that she thought she was signing up for. And it's also normal for the ASD spouse to be sad because he's not getting the marriage that he thought he signed up for. Hey, quick message to neurotypical spouses. You think your autistic spouse doesn't have empathy? No, he does. He just doesn't have displayed empathy. It's in there. He just doesn't show it because sometimes emotions are uncomfortable for him.